All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of The Potential Project. I'm your host, Sean Calhoun, and if you're here, it's because you're ready to reduce stress, burn stubborn fat, and get your body working with you instead of against you. On this podcast, we're all about simple, no BS strategies for fitness, nutrition, and lifestyle. This way, you can feel strong, confident, and in control. I'll give you the tools, mindset shifts, and habits to help you look and feel your best without spending hours in the gym or stressing over every single meal. Now, let's get into it. Okay, welcome back. Now, today on this week's episode, we're going to take a step back from talking about mindset, nutrition, fitness, and health. And I want to give you guys a little update on my life and a little background on my story as to why and how I am here right now and where my life is transitioning to in the near future. So if you don't know a little bit of my story, I currently own a fitness studio called Arete Athletics where we do group training led by a coach. I do one-on-one personal training, and everything is more led by a coach. Everything we do, there's no one just working out here. It is all led by a coach. It's built on a community, and it's built surrounded by people who are striving to become their best selves. Now, I have owned and operated this for going on 6 years now. But let's rewind a little bit. So 6 years ago, in 2020, my good friend Adam and I decided that we wanted to become more than what we normally were. You know, we were good friends, we worked out a lot, we were into personal development, bettering ourselves, striving to become fit, to become, leaders in the community, to make a business that was not only helping people but profitable and could change our family's life, right? We have these big aspirations and goals. So what we did was we trained clients for 2 years, one-on-one. We did personal training. We also worked at Orange Theory for 2 years, and Orange Theory paid the bills, and we saved up our personal training money, just put it aside to eventually open our dream, which was this studio, which I'm now talking about, right? So we did that for 2 years. We eventually got the keys to our studio. That happened in the middle of COVID. So we opened the doors, we did the demolition, the construction, had friends help us build the place out, and we got all the equipment. That's a story for another time, right? It was a long process to find equipment, fill the space. It took months and months and months, much longer than we had anticipated, but we officially got the keys and we were open. Now, we had personal training clients who we had been training out of his parents' garage and in other studios that we all told about the new place, and they were going to come help us open it with one-on-one sessions and start to do some group training. 9 days after that happened, COVID happens, and the government says we have to shut down. So we had to lock our doors, and we, instead of saying we're going to close business, we just did Zoom workouts. So we had all of our clients still working out with us through Zoom. Now, that was the beginning of our business. Now, there had since been a couple of years went by, and our relationship as business partners didn't work out. And so I am the one currently running the business, but all of that was started because of us together. So I want to point that out, is that he is and was a huge part of my life and this business in general. But here's what's happening, right? We've been training here. It's been amazing. The amount of people that have come through the doors and just been able to feel at home and make progress and finally get a step in the right direction for their fitness journey is incredible. I mean, you can see it behind me on the wall there. There are hundreds of transformations from 6-week challenges that we've done, working with one-on-one clients, and just really trying to help people understand that fitness and exercise should be a part of your everyday life. If you want to feel your best, if you want to perform well, if you want to live the most out of whatever life you're trying to live, exercise, nutrition, and health should be a major pillar on your side for that. It doesn't matter if you're an accountant, you're an executive, you're a teacher, you're a business owner, it doesn't matter. If you improve your fitness, your health, your mindset in this realm, it's going to improve those other areas. So that's what we've been doing here. We've been creating a space where people who have never worked out before can come and feel welcome. We've created a space where people who have maybe worked out in the past, but it's been years and they're nervous to be a part of a group, come in and see the people, and they see that they're just like them. They can be encouraged. They can be supported in a way that doesn't feel intimidating. And they can get back on their feet as far as an exercise routine, as far as pushing themselves, as far as changing their mental attitude and their self-image. And that is so important, right? To see people who were a little timid to even walk in the door, and they're kind of like looking around at all the equipment, and they're kind of timid at the experience in general. They come, and then you snap your fingers, and months later, they're in here crushing it. They're making friends. They're pushing themselves. They've got a part of their routine. They're seeing results. Like, they're feeling good. It's amazing. And that is why myself and other people in the fitness industry, well, most of them, can't speak for everyone, does what we do. The little text messages, the messages through social media, the conversations that you have about people like finding that confidence to take that risk, or to put on a pair of clothes and smile when they see themselves in the mirror. Like, all of that stuff is the reason why we get out of bed at 4 o'clock in the morning and do the work that we do. Now, this has been amazing, right? We've seen, again, hundreds of transformations. Tons of people can't come through here and still are a part of our training and what we do as a studio and as a company and what our mission is. But, things change, right? We've been through multiple seasons in this business. Like I said, I started off working with my best friend, and that transitioned to just be me. We went through coaching companies, getting mentorship from different people. We've been through different ways of structuring the business, the way that we price things out, the style of training that we do, the focus and the approach that we have, who we serve and why, right? Like, all of those things have changed. And 6 years in business has given me more experience than any college, any course, or any mentor could possibly try to give me, because you have to experience life on your own. I am all for learning. I'm all for getting certifications and going to school. And honestly, I love mentorship, because if they've been where you are and they are currently where you want to get to, they've been through some tough times, and they've carved the path, and they can save you a lot of missteps and trouble. So I love doing that, and I will probably always have mentors in some way, shape, or form. But man, do you have to do it. Even with some guidance, some people giving us wisdom from the future of what they've experienced, you still aren't going to be perfect. And that's the beauty of this life, is that even though you could have the path laid out for you, it's still not going to be perfect. You still have to experience life, and you have to go through trials and tribulations. And to say that I've been through those is an understatement, right? I've been through a lot in these past 6 years, but I'm reflecting back on them as learning lessons, and not to say, oh, I'm never going to do X again, or I'm never going to do Y again. It's no, how did that make me feel? What was the outcome? How can I improve that situation? What could be made better out of it in the future? And what I've learned is that in the service-based industry, for what I do is training clients or helping them with their health in some way, shape, or form, the client matters the most. And there was this phrase that, I don't know if it's still a phrase, but like, the client knows best. I don't necessarily believe in that, so to speak, but I do think that when it comes to a service-based business, or really any business, you providing the most amount of value for them is the key. And it takes one person at a time. Through these business mentorships, I've seen people talk about how to generate leads and how to have proper systems, and all of that stuff matters. But what really matters is the connection that you make with another human being. No system, no machine can take away the fact of you sitting there listening to someone and making them feel like the most important person in the world, because they are. In the present moment, what you're doing is the most important thing that you could be doing. So instead of being on your phone or thinking of something else, you need to be with that person. You need to be with those people and provide as much value and presence and empathy and compassion and all of that stuff bundled up in one little ball as possible, so that those people feel connected enough to you to trust you. And when people trust you, they let their guard down enough to take your advice. Again, if you're in the service-based business, like I coach people on their health, and if someone wants to listen to me and I think I have good advice to give them, they first have to trust me, or else what I say doesn't matter anyway. So I'm kind of going off on a tangent to just let you know kind of what happened and why I do what I do, because that stuff matters so much to me. I know that in life, as humans, the most important thing that matters is love and connection. Now, that sounds kind of cheesy, but it's true. Without other human beings, we don't exist. We need to, back in the day, there was tribes and there was villages, but we need each other. We need each other to communicate with when there's tough times. We need each other to thrive and to create economies and cultures and businesses and schools and whatever, you name it. Teams, sports, anything that you've seen, watching TV episodes, all of that is able to happen because of the collaboration and the connection of others. When you have a family and you love your family, that's because you guys have that close, tight-knit connection and pure love towards one another. And when we don't have that, you feel isolated, you feel depressed, you feel lonely. So I know that the core basis to life is connection with one another and pure love, right? Coming from a place of, authenticity and being yourself and letting your guard down a little bit when you want to build. And that's what I've tried to build within this studio, is that connection where people can feel like they can be themselves, like they can try, like they can push themselves and be okay not being perfect along the way. Throughout these 6 years, it's been amazing. But I'm here to tell you again, in life, there are seasons, there are transitions, and there are people in your life. Hey, hope you're loving the episode so far. Thanks for spending some time with me. I got a quick favor to ask. Make sure you're subscribed to the podcast, because that's how I know you're getting value from the show. And this way, you never miss an episode. All right, now back to the show. That stay for a little bit and then might not stay for long. So it is my, I don't want to say unfortunate, because everything in life happens for you. And in this next transition of my life, we will be going away from the Arete Athletics physical space training model. I'm going to be moving this business and transitioning it to another location and transitioning the way that I approach training and the clients in general. You see right now, as is in this brick and mortar building, we do group training that can fit up to 24 people, and we do one-on-one training. So over the years of working with people, the majority of clientele in here has been women. And these women are typically older than 40, right? There's variations everywhere. We don't say no to men training, but that's the reality. If you've ever been a part of this, you know that it's mainly women in here. And these women have all different types of goals and priorities and lifestyles and come from all different walks of life. But what I've seen a lot is frustration in the fact that they might be watching their food and working out, and sometimes they are feeling like they're burnt out. They're super exhausted. The excess few pounds won't come off the way they want to. And that has led me to adjust my focus and style of training to be more of strength-based, to be more of lower impact, higher challenge in lifting weights, but in a controlled environment. So I'm not going to beat around the bush and say that everything was roses and we were like the best business ever and this is why I'm transitioning. No, times are tough. Times are tough. We aren't doing as good as I want to as far as the finances are concerned on the group model. So there's that blend of, obviously, the financial aspect has something to do with it, plus my vision of what I think is going to best benefit the clients has shifted, which means my dream, my vision that I created 6 years ago for what I wanted for this space has evolved. I'm a different person. I'm 31 now. I'm not a 25-year-old man. I'm married now, right? Like I have a home now. Like things have changed. My knowledge has improved. My experience has improved. And my thoughts on life have improved, right? So that means, number one, is that what I think that I know now is still nothing. There is so much more to learn. But the evolvement of this business is going to change. So with that being said, I'm going to transition out of this physical space and I'm going to be moving into another local gym. The focus of this will be, it's going to take the business side out of it. I have learned a lot, but I am admitting to you right here that I have not been the best business owner that there could be, or else we would be profiting and things would be great, and I probably wouldn't even be in the building because there would be other people managing and running it. Like, that's someone who is a purebred operator. Like, they know how to put systems in place, track the right numbers, and do the right type of marketing to fill a business, keep it profitable, and run it without them being there. I'm just telling you, I'm not there yet. Nor do I like to be so totally removed from my people because I enjoy training. Now, would I like to have some type of separation? Yes. And if I were that great of an operator and have learned more faster at a quicker rate, I would have probably been able to do exactly that. Grow the business, separate myself from it, and run it profitably without me being here. It's not the case. And here we are right now today. So what my focus is now is to remove myself from the operations side of things and get back to training a little bit, in the sense where I will be doing one-on-one training with my personal training clients that I already have, plus whoever else wants to come on board, and semi-private training, which will be 6 people in a group. And it's more like a private training session rather than like a big group where you're going around to stations or doing a bunch of different things at once. It's going to be more strength-based and lifting and proper form and really challenging yourself and tracking your numbers. This is how you really grow in the sense of progressive overload and building your strength and seeing how you can, build lean muscle, burn fat in a safe, controlled manner. So that's the style of training that we're going to be doing. And the whole removing myself from the operation sides of things is that we're going to be, instead of in a brick and mortar location that I own, it's going to be in another gym where we're using space in there. So to me, I see this as a win-win. I get to take all that I've learned from this business and kind of like decompress it for a while until I utilize it towards a next venture in my life. And I still get to train the people that I love to train in a way that isn't keeping me at a baseline, right? Where there's a lot of overhead, there's not much, revenue to balance that out. And I can do it in a way that is just putting my focus back on the person. And I think if me admitting this to you right now is what was holding me back. I said before how, what it really comes down to is the connection, is the care, is love, is putting value into the person. And that's what, as a young business owner, I got away from. I would learn from mentors and these programs about the systems that you can run or the marketing ideas and the funnels and all of the KPIs that you should be tracking. And all of that stuff is very important as a business owner. But when you're so wrapped up in it, you kind of remove yourself from the fact that you're working with human beings. And what matters is how they feel and the value they're getting and how they feel cared for and listened to and connected with in the space that you're providing for them, whether that be online or in person, it doesn't matter. And so my mind was so hyper-focused on how can I become the best operator? How can I have these lead magnets figured out? How can we have the best funnels and the best systems so that we have the best pricing structure so that this business can run in a way that doesn't involve all of our, work to be done on a 24-hour basis? And instead, I got away from the fact that if you just take the extra minute to listen to someone, you be fully present, and you learn as you go, you can figure out the systems. You can figure out lead generation. You can figure out profitability with pricing, and you can make adjustments as you go. But what I did was try to totally revamp things and change the whole system once. And then you figure out more stuff, and then you try to change the system again. And it deteriorates the trust that you have with people. It deteriorates the consistency in which you're providing service. Like, I use this example. If you went to if you went to Chick-fil-A in your hometown and then traveled 2 states over and went to Chick-fil-A again, you're going to get a similar meal. You're going to get similar experience. That's because Chick-fil-A has mastered that culture, the way that they do things there, because they care about the customer. I tried to change that too many times and was so focused on the back end of creating a business that it got away from the people. And that's why I'm in this position right now. So I'm here telling you this for a few reasons, because I talk on here about health habits and all of this stuff to improve strength and your hormones and your mindset. But sometimes you got to know who's behind all that. And this is me. This is me, like, I'll say authentically, but that kind of like feels weird. But this is me just being transparent with you about what's been going on in my life, how it's felt, and why we're transitioning. I don't look at this as a bad thing. I don't look at it as quitting. I don't look at it as a failure, because my mindset is set on the future is what you created, the present is where you should be, and the past is to learn from. And there's no failing as long as you keep moving forward and acknowledge what went good, what went bad, and you make improvements from there. So if you follow me, whether you just listen to this podcast or you follow me on social media, or you're someone who knows me personally and you train with me, this is me announcing that going forward, the focus will always be on you. It will always be on me trying to be as present as I can with you, as to provide as much value as I can for you, whether that's in a video or whether that's during a one-on-one training session, because you matter the most. And the systems are great, but they don't even matter if you're not there and you don't feel connected and you don't feel supported and you're not getting value. So this is an end to an era. It's a change in season. The Arete Athletics physical, studio will be no more, but Arete, the method, the motto, the culture still lives on. Arete stands for the pursuit of your full potential. And that's how I'll live the rest of my life. And that's how I'll provide service to anyone who decides to work with me, who decides to watch a video of mine, or just who decides to be a part of our community. That's what I'm going to provide from now on, and what I've always tried to do, but really focus on that. Where we are going to be training out of another space for the near future, we're going to be doing it in a more, tight-knit fashion with 6 people maximum or one-on-one. And the focus is going to be you. We're going to be present. We're going to just worry about how we can get better, how we can stay positive, and understand that we're humans and we're working through stuff on a day-to-day basis. So I hope you guys got something from this, not to learn, but got to understand me on a deeper level. And if this resonated with you, or you have any remarks or any feedback, like maybe you're someone who trained with us in the past, I'd love to hear from you and reflect on your time at Arete or your time coaching with me, because we're going to look back and smile. It's been a good run, and there's been a lot of happiness and a lot of good things that have come from this. And I don't want to, pass it by just saying on to the next thing, because it was amazing. I don't want to, harp on the past or live in it and resonate there, because we need to move forward and always be, searching to create a better future. But man, was it fun. And I thank you guys for spending some time with me on this episode and in person and just being a part of my life, because it truly matters a lot. And I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing without you. So thank you. And I hope you tune in to these next episodes as we continue the podcast. So I'll catch you guys next time. Hey, thanks for spending some time with me on today's episode. I hope you got a ton of value from it. If we're not connected on Instagram yet, let's change that. Hit me up at Sean Calhoun _. That's SEAN Calhoun _. Shoot me a DM. Let me know what you think of the show, or if you got any questions about how to level up your health. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you on the next episode.